What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Aces High podcast. We're your hosts, Miriah and Ty. Ty, happy Monday. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
Happy Monday. I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Chop it up. Talk a little hoops. What's going on with you? How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. It's a lot cooler in Vegas today, so it's a
Oh,
lot
thank
cooler in
goodness.
the office today. So, we're feeling good today.
That's good.
Chat, happy Monday. What's up? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope y'all had a great week, a great weekend. Um, Not too much, WNBA wise, obviously going on with the break. But the the ladies did play today versus Team USA versus Japan. So we'll definitely get into that. If any of our regular, chat homies are here that would like to come on stage and join us tonight and chop it up, either give your thoughts on what you thought from the game, your thoughts, even thoughts on the men's game, thoughts on any of the Olympics so far, any other WNBA input, thoughts, questions, anything else you have, whatever you guys, if you want to join us and chop it up for a little bit, let me know and I'll shoot you guys the link. And I say, like our regulars because unfortunately, there's too many trolls out there, so I'm not just going to shoot the link to any Joe Schmo that decides to
Yep.
join the chat right now. But, if any of our usual suspects out there would like to join us and just chop it up for a little bit, please, more than welcome to join us.
Yeah.
And
And
talk some
if you got
hoops.
if you got a question that you just want to throw in the chat, throw it in there. We
Yeah.
can try to answer it or try to answer it and just chop it up with you.
Throwback, what's up?
What's
Appreciate you,
going on?
sir, as always. Don, what's good?
What up, Don?
Um, but yeah, so Team USA beats Team. Do they go by Team Japan? I guess
Yeah.
Team Japan. Um, 102-76. Quite the ass kicking.
Hmm.
It was pretty close. Like the first quarter, maybe the first even half. Maybe within 10 points or so.
Yeah.
And then the United States just, started to pull away. Um, MVP, Asia Wilson doing Asia Wilson things. A double, I think,
Yep.
when there was still 6 minutes left in the third, and she already had a double.
Yeah.
Um, it was pretty funny because like when I'm seeing yesterday looking okay, Team USA playing Japan, I'm thinking I'm not like, it's not even crossing my mind about like what Team Japan is going to look like. Okay, like
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it, right? So as they're like, I put on the game today and I'm going to look and I'm like starting and I'm like, this is very interesting. Like all of like Team Japan comes up to like Brittany Griner's waist. So this
Yep.
is going to be like very interesting. But man, like they have some shooters. Like they're
Yeah.
like they must do. I think it was Sid had put out a tweet and it was like, I know Team Japan does some crazy like 3-point drills in practice because they're like shooting threes like crazy and
Yep.
literally like over a sprawled up, Asia's hand, Brittany's hand. So like these 5'5", I don't know how tall they are, but they literally look like they're five, like as tall as my wife, 5'5", like shooting a 3-point shot up and over like a
Yeah.
7'6" whatever wingspan, like is
Yeah.
crazy to look at. Um so it's very interesting to see. Like I'm not even gonna attempt to like butcher, like the Japan players' names. But
Hmm.
they had this player that came off the bench and scored 24 points. Like she
Uh-huh.
could not miss. She
Shoot.
was
Yeah.
10 for 11 from the field, 2 for 3 for third from the three. Like, in 22 points, in 22 minutes, she put up 24 points.
Yeah.
So, it's not like they didn't have like they were complete ass or whatever. Like they had some
No.
shooters, right? But when you're going up against Team USA and you have Asia putting up 24 points, Stewie putting up 22 points. So between the two of them, they have 46 points. It's kind of hard to even compete
Yeah.
with that, right? Like,
Right. Right.
what were your thoughts? I know you were at work or busy during the first half, but what were your thoughts of what you did get to see from the game and obviously how it finished up?
Yeah, I went back and rewatched the first half on replay. Gotta love the app nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh man, you could just pull up the replay like that. Back in the day, that was not possible.
Mm-hmm.
So apps are a good thing. But yeah, good game. Like you said, kind of close in the beginning, and it's kind of like, all right, it really shouldn't be this close. But at some point, you knew they would turn it on, and that's exactly what happened. Um, Team USA just kind of turned it on. They kind of clamped down more on defense, um, especially when they brought in like Kalea Copper and went to their bench a little bit. Like they really clamped down on defense, which helped stretch that lead and gave them a little cushion at the end of the half. And then the third quarter, they just went off. They just went off. They were running breaks. Brianna Stewart and Asia Wilson could not be stopped. They were getting whatever they want. Chelsea Gray was just she was just dishing it to them left and right. And a good pass is coming when she's running up court looking out of
13
bounds.
assists.
Right? She's running up court looking out of bounds. She's like, oh, a pass is coming. And she's throwing that no look. And she was diming it up. So it was good to see. And then Brianna Stewart and Asia Wilson they're playing on championship level right now. They are on gold medal level. And they are not BSing around. This is only group play. They haven't even got into like the actual tournament yet. But they're playing like, okay, I'm playing for gold in this game. That's their mentality. That's their tone that they are setting. And you can see it by the way they're playing. And it shows you why they're the leaders of the team, right? They are who they are. They've been champions all across the board throughout basketball. This is not their first Olympics. They know what it takes. And they're kind of the elder statesmen now. So they're setting that tone. So they're going to do their thing. A big surprise was Sabrina Ionescu in that third and fourth quarter. She came in hot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was hitting threes and dishing it too. She took a few pages out of Chelsea Gray's playbook and was throwing some no looks. It was fun to watch. I was like, okay, Sabrina, let's have some fun out there.
Yeah.
Which helped extend that lead. So that was real good to see. And once they got the lead, they started just playing with some fun, still intense, but playing with fun and enjoying themselves. Kelsey Plum gets fouled, goes to the ground, looks right at the camera. Right at the camera, like, that's two. Two shots. You gotta love her. And you gotta love that the team is like, they're serious, but they're still themselves. They're still showing some character, some personality, and enjoying themselves. So it was a great opening game. And I think this is what you're going to see going forward. Hey, there you go. Asian Draymond in the house.
You have both Stewie and Asia both with 26 minutes. Tarasi, for her and Nafisia starting, they both only ended up with 15 minutes, but like there's so much, and I saw online, a lot of people talking, the first half, like, why is this person in? Put this person in, put that person in, and it's like there's so much talent, and so like this such a stacked team. It's like to be able to spread out the minutes is kind of crazy how they're going to be able to do it. I was kind of we talked about this last week and whatnot about Plum and how her role was going to be, and literally the first person off the bench is Plum. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, this coach, don't freaking get me started, lady.
I
um, but
know.
but she did only end up with 14 minutes,
Hmm.
11 points. So 11 points in 14 minutes, not bad. Four from six from the field. So
Yeah.
1 for 3 from three.
Great. Yeah.
So her 3 points still off, but
The whole team's 3-point shooting was
yeah,
off until
it
Sabrina
was.
Ionescu got hot.
Hmm.
Like they were like 1 for 20
Yeah, it was
until
crazy.
Sabrina got hot in that middle third quarter and hit a couple. But they were shooting bricks from three out there, but still leading the game by 15 to 16 points, which
Yeah.
is great. They were dominating in the paint.
I was worried because when Ka went down, like that was scary
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
for her to come in the game and literally like a minute later she's down, and that was in like the first, and she didn't come back in,
Yeah.
I think, till the third or the fourth, like sometime towards
Yeah.
the end of the game. So like it was kind of scary there, like what was going on with
Yeah.
her. Injuries are so weird in basketball. Like we still
They
haven't
are.
even heard what's going on with Kate Martin, and that
Kate
was
Martin, I
weeks
know.
ago already, right? Like
I
we
know.
wouldn't even know unless I saw her throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game the other night.
Exactly. Like, can
You
she
know,
even walk? Right.
yeah, like we wouldn't even know if her leg fell off or not. But at least Ka came in and did, put in a few minutes there to end the game. So
Yeah.
that was good. Hopefully she ends up being okay. But
Yeah.
so, I mean, coming off the bench, we had Griner with 11 points. Like you said, Sabrina, she had 11 points. Kelsey had 11 points. You had Jackie with 7. So, I mean, that's just coming off the bench.
Yeah.
We had our 2 stars, obviously, that we talked about, Stewie and, Asia for the starters. But other than that, the other 3 starters, Collier had 4 points. Diana and Chelsea both had 2 points each.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but Chelsea was diamond up though.
yeah,
Her role today, she just wanted to
crazy.
facilitate.
Yep.
13 assists basically by halftime, right? Didn't even play most of the third quarter and the end of the game. Like she wasn't needed. And Asian Draymond here, who said he's a Storm fan. That's good to know.
Okay.
Storm,
yeah,
they doing things. But yeah, had they dropped some threes, she would have had a whole lot more. Like she's the point guard for a reason.
Yeah, all those assists she would have had. Somebody was actually making their shots.
She was diming it up. Yeah, he brings up this is something I was going to talk about too. And you mentioned it, how stacked the team is, and it's hard to get like players like some playing time. Like he says, he wants to see Jewel Lloyd get some minutes. And I was watching the game thinking, yo, how crazy would it be if Cheryl Reeve was to just throw out like Jewel Lloyd and Jackie Young in the backcourt at the same time and gave them extended minutes? That would be a huge headache. They could both hit threes. They could both got a mid-range. They could both drive to the basket. Like that would be crazy. Crazy. Gold Mama is definitely more underrated.
She's one of my favorite players in the league.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love her and Asia being on the team together. So I would definitely love to see her getting more minutes and those 2 playing together.
Yeah. So I'm hopefully like as the tournament goes on, especially right now, they're just in group play.
Yeah.
This is just to qualify for the actual tournament, right? I'm hoping that Coach Reeve will juggle some things around and we get to see them play more minutes and hopefully get some minutes together. Because them getting the little minutes that they do get is crazy.
Yeah. What's up, Tanya? Appreciate you coming through, sis. Daniel Berry, what's up?
What's up?
It says, did y'all see KP teasing Lloyd about her beautiful knees? I didn't see that.
Yes, we did. We did. That was during the picture day thing. Well, first of all, KP took the prom picture with her, standing in back of her.
Yeah.
She's such a character.
Did see that, yeah.
But then was just teasing her about her knees because she always wears long pants. She's like, we never see your knees. You got beautiful knees. She's such a character.
I did see somebody saying that, who was it? Jewel Lloyd and they were saying that they knew that Diana Taurasi and Jewel Lloyd were going to be pissed because the shorts were, above their knees. And they're like, they're not used to the world being able to see their knees and them having to wear short shorts, so.
Yeah.
So I did see that.
They're both they're both in the Kobe era. They're like, they're used to the baggy shorts. So yeah.
Let's talk real quick about the first men's game. They ended up beating Serbia 110-84.
Yep.
LeBron James had himself a game. Steph, was Steph with he was already celebrating threes before they even were halfway to the basket. And, some surprises though. I mean, there was some guys that, spent a lot of minutes just sitting on the bench. And I saw the NBA world, going crazy online about it. What were your thoughts about the men's first game?
First game out. Good test with Serbia, because they got Joker, the league MVP, and they got shooters. Like, that team is not a scrub team. Like, that's a good team that plays together. So it was a good test for them. It's good to see them come out and set the tone, lay the smack down on them. Just like on the women's side, the men's side have their two leaders, well, three leaders really, with KD, Bron, and Steph. And they're the tone setters. And KD for his first game, oh my God,
man, he was on fire.
He could not miss. I mean, that one shot, he missed his last shot. Like, imagine that. Oh, I missed my last shot. The only shot you took at the end of the game, you missed it. Other than that, he couldn't miss it. That shot he hit right before half, that was crazy. So
he's so freaking good, I swear. Like,
yeah, I know.
Is there any other basketball player you literally can put in, like, with any team, any scheme, any coach, any everything, and he can seriously just fit, like, perfectly. It doesn't matter, like,
because he's a guy that just wants to hoop. He just wants to go out and play ball. He don't want to be the star, have the limelight. He just want to go out and play ball. And like, in this situation, it's perfect for him, because that's all he's going to do. Just go out and play ball. Like, Bron could be the leader, Steph could be the leader. I'm just here to play ball. And that's what he was doing. And you could tell he was enjoying himself. So it was good stuff. And Bron was doing his thing, taking over when he needed to. Steph was, I like the unselfishness of Steph, because he was deferring. He don't need to be the guy. There was a lot of times where, like, he was running off screens and he was just being a decoy. And like, two people would chase him and that would free things up for somebody else. And he'd go up the court smiling, just like, got him again. Like, and I can say that about all the players on both teams, on the men's side and the women's side. One thing I noticed is that the unselfishness in the way they play is what you need to bring gold back home. And I'm loving seeing that. And Agent Draymond brings up a good point. Embiid and Joker, they was battling down low. Yeah. That was a good matchup. Oh, that was fun to watch. That was a heavyweight matchup down there.
Yeah. Yeah, says KD has a real sweet stroke. It's a pleasure to watch him pull up on the run. Yeah, like, it's a pleasure just to watch him play basketball altogether. Yeah, like,
most definitely.
It's still hilarious that watching him, because he has the skinniest, scrawniest little freaking legs. Like, it's hilarious. But man, like, that's, you don't need no thick ass leg muscles to be playing basketball, because look at him. And then what's that new skinny ass guy that was just a rookie? Wemby.
For France. Yeah.
Oh my God, his legs are so crazy skinny too. Like,
KD, I know, it's crazy.
Like, all it takes for them to get, like, kicked in the damn shin, and their shit's gonna, like, freaking snap like a toothpick. But yeah, I love watching KD play basketball. Like, I wish, like, all that BS, obviously me being a Warriors fan, like, all that BS, with him and Draymond, who knows what all freaking
Right.
went down, and like people making fun of KD online not being, like it being Steph's team and him can't win
Yeah. Yeah.
without, and like him having to try to leave to go prove a point and all this BS, like I wish all that BS didn't happen and like he would have just
Yeah.
stayed and hooped with Steph, like
Exactly.
man, like to think of how many championships they could
It'd
have
still
won
be
together
winning.
right now.
Yep.
Like it's
Still
a
be
shame.
winning.
It's a damn
Yep.
shame.
Yeah. There was the big drama was that Jason Tatum not playing and somebody else wasn't playing. And like Steve Kerr said, like, look, man, and it's like for the women's side, it's so much talent.
Yeah.
Like there's some people who may not play. There's some people who may only get a little bit of minutes. Right?
And
It's
it's only
going to
one
happen.
game.
It's
Like
but it was only the first game.
yeah.
Like there's going to be other games. People are going to play. And in the next game, there might be somebody else who does not play.
Exactly.
But you just listen to the players and what they say. And I just mentioned it a minute ago. They aren't there for themselves. They're being very unselfish. They know that the goal is to bring back a gold medal. So that means if you don't play this game, but you play 30 minutes the next game, so be it. If you're on the floor just to facilitate or just go out there and be a defensive stopper, don't worry about scoring. That's what you do. Do the job to bring home gold. That's the point of this. You're not going to get individual accolades. You're going to get a team accolade for your country. So that's what's out there. And Steve Kerr said he put Derek White out there to just be a defensive stopper. He wanted his defense out there. And it worked because he was putting on work on the defensive end. Won't worry. Jason Tatum's going to get his. He's going to go out there and play. I ain't even worried about it.
Back to the women's side. Let's talk real quick about Megan Gustafson playing over there for.
I thought about you immediately. I was like, Mariah's cursing right now.
For the Spanish national basketball team. Ended up with 29 points, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 66% from the field. Like pretty much everybody else on her team is ass. So she literally has to play every single minute of the basketball game, and they have to do every single thing on the court has to run through Meg, or else forget about it. And all that she did, and they still only won by 1 point.
I know.
But hey, they got the dub, so shit. Like
that's all that matters. Get that dub.
Hopefully, her ass doesn't get kicked in the way on the way there. But I'm glad to see her, go out and do her thing. 29 points, shit.
Where is that for the Aces, though?
Exactly.
I was like, wait a minute. My thoughts. like she put up Asia Wilson numbers. I'm like, wait a minute.
Like we can't even get her to hit 1 3.
Exactly. Like, where'd all this come from? What is going on here? Oh man, I thought about you immediately. I was like, oh, you're probably like, oh, now she decides to have a great game. Where is that during our 6-game losing streak when Asia's nose was bleeding? Like,
exactly. And then one of our other girls that's playing over there, Tiff Hayes, had put out a tweet that says, she put this out this morning, said, "Not me getting randomly picked for doping."
Oh wow.
So they're over there drug testing our girl Tiffany Hayes. I was like, that's your reputation from being on the Aces. Drug tests,
craziness.
Court cases, investigations,
just craziness.
So hopefully, Tiffany had no problems passing her drug test over there.
Sure, she passed with flying colors, just laughing at them. Like, you ain't gonna find nothing. Oh,
I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right. So last week, I had left off the show talking about coming back from Olympic break. That I wouldn't be mad if, and like I had said on last week's show, of course, this is one of Becky's favorites. It's probably won't happen. Because we saw what happened when, Kelsey went 0 for 70 and was airballing every
That game
shot she
against this
threw
guy.
up,
Yeah.
and just craziness. And yet
Uh-huh.
you had players coming in off the bench completely on fire, and they finish the game on the bench, and Becky keeps putting in the player that can't make a shot to save her life, and we end up losing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like coming back from the break, like I wouldn't be mad, if Kelsey were to come off the bench. And, like I just go back to the thing where we see Kelsey play her best basketball when she has to think and do as little as possible on the court. She needs to just get the ball and shoot, get the ball and shoot, get
Yep.
the ball and shoot. Like, if she could just be in that element right there and not have to think about distributing or think about passing here or think about this or that or anything else, just stand here, wait for somebody to pass the ball to you and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
That's all she needs to do.
Yep.
And she's great. We've watched her get, 6th Player of the Year award. Like that. It's just everything else that she's going through this season, whatever she's dealing with mentally and in her personal life and with her marriage and all that, is obviously playing some part on it. And she's just not having a great season. So let her come off the bench. She don't have to deal with starting. She don't have to take on that responsibility of starting for the championship team and under all this pressure and trying to three-peat and all this. Well, your life outside is falling apart and you're going through all this other shit, and right, like all this commotion. Like, let her deal with her shit. Let her come off the bench. She only has to play a handful of minutes. Great. Let Tiffany Hayes start in her spot. She can play defense. Kelsey Plum can't play any fucking defense. Like, our defense is terrible right now. The Aces cannot guard shit. They can't stop anybody from shooting the threes. Like, nobody. Yep. If somebody on the opposite team can shoot a 3-point, I already go into that game thinking, okay, they're going to kill us in this game because we can't stop them. So as long as the shooter is hot, like they're not off on their own shot, because that's the only way they're going to be stopped is if they stop themselves, not because the Aces stop them in any way. So like, Tiffany Hayes plays better defense. She, is learning the scheme. She's learning what the Aces do. She's, getting back into the groove of things, back into game shape, all that. I just think it would be better, at least for a handful of games, try it and see, because Kelsey Plum's just not right.
Yeah,
and then
she had that hot streak in there where she was scoring
like close
to 30. Yeah. And then she seemed to go cold. And in that last game, her shot was just completely off. I don't know what the heck was going on there. But it'll be interesting to see if Becky makes any adjustments coming back from the break, if she tinkers with the lineup, if she tinkers with the rotations, right? Even if Plum starts, how long of a leash does she have, right? Does she get subbed out with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter or 6 minutes to go? Like, how quick and does she close out games? Is she on the court or is someone else? Tiff Hayes, hell, even Kate Martin, right? Alicia Clark. Like, is she even out there at all? So it'll be interesting to see what a coach does after the break in terms of adjustments.
No disrespect to this guy, but we can't be dropping games to this guy, to the Sparks.
I know, the bottom tier teams in the league.
Like, we can't be dropping games to this teams because we have starters in the game that their shots off and they can't play defense, and you're refusing to put them on the bench. Like,
Steve-O, we just calling it like we seeing it, man. You just call it like we see it.
he don't even freaking know about WNBA, so like I could care less what he has to say. Girl Plum, come on.
All of a sudden, she a girl.
Yeah, he watched her play 5 games his whole life. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's just you're gonna risk us getting back to the championship because you're too stubborn and set in your ways of your starting girls. Like, and then, like I had said, start, this, if they don't win the championship this season, that changes need to come, next season. And my thinking here is that how long are these girls going to continue to take pay cuts so that they can play together if they're not winning championships? Now, it's all fine and dandy to take a pay cut because you're getting extra money from everything that comes along with winning a championship.
Right.
Now, already as it is, Asia's taking a pay. Jackie Young's the highest paid player on this team. So take that as what it is. So, it should be Asia. So that tells you Asia's taking pay cuts. Now, we know she's getting money for this, that, this, and that. But so are half a dozen other players that aren't taking pay cuts. So she doesn't have to take a pay cut. Chelsea is just she's not getting any younger, right? Like I think that she only has a couple more years left to play.
Yeah.
Jackie,
and she's 29. Yeah.
Jackie, she could be a star on half the teams in this league that need somebody at her position.
Well, that's why she's the highest paid. Like I think they're committed. They understand what they have in her, and they're committed to her long term.
Mm-hmm. So my thing is that if we know how Becky feels about Chelsea, so I would think now we have to think that the Valkyries draft is coming up. They're going to be able to select players from other teams. You can only protect. We'll see how many players that they choose to let you protect. But whether it's 4, 5, 6,
right,
we're going to lose people, right? So I would think with all that being said, the way Becky feels about Chelsea only having a handful of years left, whatever, I don't see her going to finish her career somewhere else. I think she stays here and finishes her career, or she goes back to one of the teams, she came from to finish out her career there. My thing is that Plum, now, as in any sport, right? If you're not getting better, like the teams around you are continuing to get better, like they're after us. Like we're the ones with the bullseye on our head. So if we're not getting better, we can't just keep staying the same and expect that we're going to continue to win championships because the team around us are getting better. So we can't just keep rolling out there with the same team. We're not upgrading our bench. We're not freaking doing anything to upgrade the back end of our team. And we can't just keep rolling out there with the same starting 5 if they're not getting it done, sorry. So, if we don't win the championship this season, I would like to see the Aces coming back next season with a different starting 5. Now, whether that means Plum's on the bench or Plum's out of Vegas, one of the two choices. I don't want to see her on the starting 5. And we need another big to take. I don't know.
Well, hold on now. We still got half a season to play here. So we got to see how it plays out. We got to see if Kelsey Plum returns to form or what she does. And like you said, this just could be a bad year for her. She's got a lot going on. So we'll see how it plays out. And we got to
Regardless,
see.
she still can't play defense. She still is a shooter, which shooters stay
She
hot,
is a defensive
cold.
liability. We've seen that. We've seen like guards go after her. So it's been rough. So I mean, she gives it her all, but she's getting lost out there. So I know Steve-O, you cracking me up.
Did you make a rap song?
I know you're going to talk when she gets back from Paris, right? I know. But I think that the real problem is the back end of the roster, and we've talked about that. It's like, okay, picking up Tiffany Hayes was like gold because they needed another player to complement the front, the starters, the big four. And she has done that. But it's like, what's after that? You got Alicia Clark, but we know who Alicia Clark is. She's going to play her role to perfection, provide defense, hit some outside shots, do her thing. But you need
She's
more
40 years
than
old.
just that. Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Valkyries don't take her anyway.
Exactly. Like you talk about players being protected. She's one of those players that may not be protected. So she could get scooped up. And yeah, she'll be 36 next season. So it's like, what do we do here? And we talked about this plenty of times on the show. They need another big. Asia Wilson can't do it all herself. Kia Stokes is out there, but they need someone else. Because when one of them goes to the bench, all of a sudden they have this extremely small lineup. And it seems like other teams in the league are getting bigger and bigger. They got 2 6'4" people on the court at all times. So something needs to happen there. So Becky and her crew, they're going to have to really go to work and solidify the back end of this roster to make sure, it supports the front end.
I would like to see, obviously, Kia replaced. Maybe if we could find a way, if we could trade, get rid of, not obviously make like a trade, but I'm saying like the cost and, all things considered, like however that means, get rid of these players off of our team and get this player on our team. Kia, Plum, whoever else on the back end.
Kristen Bell and them.
Like, can we get like a Stewie over here?
I think she's happy being back in New York.
Well, New York's not her team, so
that's going to be a tough one. But she's from New York, so she's trying to bring one to the hometown.
And if they can only keep so many players in New York for so long, and if you're continuing to not be able to win a championship,
well, they were right there. What's the importance? They just put that team together, not last season, season before. So I think they're committed. The Tsai family is very patient, and they're committed to this thing for the long haul. So I don't think they're going to blow that thing up anytime soon.
Well, they could be as committed as they want. There's still a salary cap. Their players aren't taking pay cuts to stay over there. Like people need to get paid. Like, I don't know how you're expecting that they're going to keep 5 fucking stars on a team over there for years and years and years.
We'll see. I don't know. Let's see if I can look it up real quick. I don't know what their contracts are like. Shit, everybody's under contract for the next 2 years. So they're fine. Damn, but Nanchaleji.
I mean, I see a lot of teams with lots of contracts that don't mean shit. That don't mean trades can't be made. That don't mean players aren't going to be unhappy. That don't mean all this other shit. So
Brianna still is a free agent after this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, not everybody can stay there and keep getting paid. Like, yeah, they just made this team 3 years ago, but yeah, they built a super team. You can't continue to just keep a super team year after year after year after year after year. Like, that's not how things work.
But salary cap may go up.
And it goes up for the rest of the league too.
Yeah. So you never know how this is going to play out. We'll see. The offseason is always interesting. There are a lot of teams that make moves. There are players that move, and you're like, wow, she went there. Wow, I didn't see that coming. So you never know. Like Natasha Cloud in Phoenix. Didn't see that coming. But there she is.
Wasn't this something that you had wanted to talk about, the media deal?
Yeah, the media deal. So as we know, the NBA was negotiating their new media deal, and part of that was they were negotiating the WNBA's deal. So it came out that they struck a deal with the networks to provide the WNBA $2.2 billion over 11 years, which is something like $200 million a year. And this is great. More money, big contract. This is what should happen. But a lot of people came out and said this was too low. They felt that it was too low, right? And they're stuck in this. And there's one thing you got to remember about this is that 3 years from now, they can go back to the negotiating table and revisit this thing and totally do it over if they want to, right? They can start negotiating on another deal. So that's one thing to keep in mind. They're not stuck to this for the next 11 years, which is a hell of a long time. And we see how the league is exploding. Like its growth is doing this. It's on this trajectory. It's going way up real fast. So don't get hung up on that number, because 3 years from now, I'm sure it's going to change. And the significance of this is 3 years from now, there'll probably be an additional 2 teams announced. So it'll be up to 20 teams across the league, which means more teams, more games you can televise, right? Some more markets that you can hit. That's more money coming in. So you can negotiate that. Also, 3 years from now, the rookie crop that's going to be coming into the league is going to be amazing. I mean, people were excited over this year's rookies, but 3 years from now, you're going to have people like Juju Watkins, Hannah Hidalgo, Malaysia Fawali, Tessa Johnson, Jada Williams, like tons of young, exciting players that's entering their sophomore season now. They're going to be rookies then. That's going to make this thing explode once again. So it's the perfect time to go back to the negotiating table. It's a great deal for the league. I thought the NBA did a good job of negotiating for them. And yeah, 3 years from now, we should see another deal announced, which is going to help this thing grow even more.
Yep. Also, I remember last week we had talked about that the rumors were out that Seattle were going to announce something about their, a new practice facility and whatnot. And they did end up announcing that they are getting a new practice facility. Definitely well-deserved, well-needed. And we talked about this last week, that
It's open.
What do you mean it's open?
Pretty sure it's already open. It opened this year.
I'm Chicago. I'm talking about
Chicago. Yeah.
What did I say?
Talking about Chicago. Yeah, you said Seattle.
Oops. Yeah, I'm meaning Chicago. Yeah, we had talked about last week. That Chicago, it had been rumored that they were going to, because they're just there using some like rec center right now.
They're using a rec center. It's terrible.
Crazy shit, like hella far away from where they play their games and where they live and all this shit. So they're getting their new facility updated, everything that they need. Shout out to them. Shout out to Chicago doing the right thing, getting their girls taken care of.
Yeah.
And like we talked about last week, like this should be a league wide set across the board. Like, okay, every team, this needs to be done, right? Like you got to be up to
Mm-hmm.
these freaking standards. Like this is ridiculous.
Exactly. This is what you
Like,
want to see across the board. I mean, not for nothing, the Aces set the tone. They were the first to build a dedicated facility for their players, right? Opened into
yep.
2023. Then Seattle announced they're getting on board. They built theirs. It opened earlier this year. We saw how Phoenix jumped on board. They built theirs. Beautiful facility.
Yep.
Now we have Chicago announcing theirs. Um, the Psy family that owns the Liberty, they have announced they have plans of building their own facility. Even though the Liberty train in Barclays and they share the same facilities as the Nets do. Uh, the Psy family said, no, we want to get them their own dedicated facility outside of here that can cater specifically to their needs. Like kudos to them for stepping up and doing that. So we see the trend. We see it happening. The wheels
I
are
would
turning.
imagine Fever's coming. Like,
Yeah.
like they'd be
Indiana will
ridiculous if
announce their
not.
all the money they're making now. Like,
I would.
don't be cheap.
The Sparks, like, what do they got
Don't
going
be
on over
cheap.
there?
Yeah, exactly. Sparks probably get theirs. Like all these teams should be joining suit. And it's the way it should be. You know, right? Yeah, these are world-class organizations. These owners are billionaires. I'm talking with a B, billion. Like, and believe it or not, they're making money.
Yeah.
Right? They may not be making billions from their team, but they are making millions. They are making money from their team. So reinvest in that team. Give them what they need to be world class. Give them what they need to train and possibly win a championship. You've seen what happened in Vegas, right?
Yep.
You start changing things, and all of a sudden, oh wow! All of a sudden, we're winning chips. Our players are happy. People want to come here first. It makes a difference.
And then guess what happens when you win more chips? More money comes in.
Exactly.
More fans, more revenue, more jersey sales, more everything.
Exactly.
So take care of your players, and your players can bring home a championship that brings in more money. So
good things
especially
happen for the
all these teams that have these young players, that we know are bringing in the money now. Like there's no freaking excuse for them to be going the cheap route on things. That's why I said, what's LA doing?
Exactly.
Like we know they got two young rookie stars over there. Like get them what they need over there. Like come on.
Yeah.
Obviously the Fever with they got two young stars over there too. Get them what they need over there.
Exactly.
Like only makes sense.
Who is it? Sorry. Yeah. Like one of the things I found interesting is that Chicago, part of their facility, they're building a content creation area for their players to be able to like produce their own content in-house.
Oh, wow.
And like show them media stuff and things like that. So there you can see that they are player focused and they know that it's the players that these fans are gravitating to and latching on to. So they want to help foster that even more. So I found that piece extremely interesting that they're doing that. And I'm like, okay, they're getting it.
Yeah.
Finally, after all these years, Chicago's getting it. Like invest in these players, put them out there, market them, and the fans will come.
Well, and especially the stars that Chicago has with Reese and Camilla. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like that's
like Angel
that's
Reese
what
has
they need to be
over,
doing.
over 3 million fans across her social media. And like the Sky, who's been here for ages, seems like only has like 500,000 fans. Like she's blowing them out the water. So it's like, yeah, market her, like latch on to that.
Yep. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
We talked about salary thing. We talked about that.
I think, who
Um,
do we play next?
yeah, I want to see the upcoming matchups. Um, um, they announced it too. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, folks.
Let's see. We got. I know the men play next, so they're going back and forth. The men, the women, the men, the women.
Yeah.
Every other day.
I think it's
So the
Thursday.
31st, the men play South Sudan. Yeah. And then August 1st, the women play Belgium.
They play Belgium. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. They play Belgium.
Does Belgium have... Oh, they got Julie Van Loo.
Yep. Julie Van Loo of the Washington Mystics. Shout out to Melly.
Shout out Melly. Is that their only WNBA player?
I think so.
Like the only name I recognize. Because there's a lot of these teams where the other countries have, like, the same men's and women's, both sides have, different WNBA and NBA stars on them.
Mention that, yeah. There's a lot of countries out there that have WNBA players infused in their rosters. So there's hey, there goes Melly. What's up, girl?
Melly,
just gave you a shout out. Talking about Julie Van Loo playing for Belgium. But yes, a lot of these teams have WNBA players, so you're gonna see like some competition arise, and things can get a little tougher for Team USA. I don't think it'll be too tough. Anything they can't handle because they know these players already. They played against them. And it's funny, I was looking at Canada's roster, and like up 12, they have like 7 or 8 WNBA players.
Yeah.
People that are playing currently or have played in the league before. So it's like, wow, they got a freaking lot. But even with that, they still shouldn't be able to stack up against Team USA. I mean, that they got smoked by France. I think it was just earlier today or yesterday. They got smoked by France. And France could be a tough opponent because they got size and they got shooters. And they actually have 2 WNBA players who decided to not play in the league this year and just stay home in France to concentrate on the team and prepare for the Olympics. So you get a lot of that. But yeah, there's a lot of familiar names in this Olympics playing for other teams, playing for their respective countries. So it'll be fun to see, the matchups when they get together. Like we saw Team USA play, what was it, Germany the other day in a little scrimmage, and they played the Sabali sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny. People were making fun of Satu Sabali because she hadn't played all year for the Dallas Wings.
She got hurt
all of a sudden
today.
All of a sudden she's in the Olympics. But yeah, she got hurt early too. And but it was fun to see her out there and playing once again. And I believe both her and Naura had a good game today where they combined for like 29 points or something. So yeah, the Olympics are upon us. It's fun. It's good to see the names out there. Good to learn about some new players from around the world, like Team Japan when they're shooters. I mean, they're only 5'4", but they was putting it up. They was putting it up. Did you see Diana Taurasi being so disrespectful? She was holding the ball up against that one little guard who couldn't jump up and hit it. She was just holding it like this. Oh my gosh. Diana is so freaking funny. She's so disrespectful. You gotta laugh at her sometimes.
Brittany Griner was friggin' blocking it and holding the ball off with one hand and grabbing the rebounds with one other single hand, like crazy. Like she's just out there, like she's literally playing against kids, like they go to elementary school, like
that's what it was like. Like it was like parents playing against their children. That's what it was like. It's just the size difference was crazy. Like Japan's tallest player was their center at 6'1".
Wow.
And like
Yeah.
we're sending Brittany Griner out there who's 6'9". It's like Asia
They
is
could
only
have stacked 2
6'4".
players on top of each other, and they would have
Yeah.
been as tall as Brittany Griner.
Like Asia blocked their center's shot by just like swatting it like this. She didn't even raise her hand up. She just kind of like did this and blocked it. Oh my gosh. It's like poor
funny.
Japan.
I was looking at the guys playing South Sudan. I don't see any not any players that I recognize, that look like they come from the NBA on that side. So I would imagine our guys will have, a pretty easy game for them. Yep. They're both sides, our men's and women's teams are so stacked. It's crazy.
That's the thing.
Especially because normally the men's team, not all of our stars go and play. Like it's been so long since LeBron, Steph's never even played, all these guys, they normally don't. And, I'm glad they all, especially the ones that are older, like this might be our last time to do it. Let's all do this and go out and get gold, So it's good to see them, all out there. Hopefully we can bring home gold on both sides.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's Steph's first Olympics. Like, huh? He's never been here before. What is going on? That shows you, how tough it is to make it and how stacked it is. And like for the women's side, it's just wild. Like to see them go to the bench and you bring in stars like Kalea Copper, Brittany Griner, Jewel Lloyd, Sabrina Ionescu, Alyssa Thomas, Jackie Young. This is your bench.
Your starting 5 goes to the bench and you bring in another starting 5.
Exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly. You bring in another strong starting 5. And it's like, oh my God. It's like teams have to look at that and go, are you serious? Like, just think of poor Japan today when Asia Wilson goes to the bench, 6'4". You're like, whoo. And then they bring in 6'9" Brittany Griner, and you're like, oh, you got to be serious. You can't be serious here. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
unreal. It's unreal.
So, I think actually we'll play 2 games before
we get back.
Because they play again August 4th, which is what day? Yeah, Sunday. So August 4th, the women play Germany.
Okay.
So yeah, they'll play Germany as well. Who have, let's see, do they have anybody?
They got the Sabali sisters.
Yeah, that's the Sabali sisters. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
So yeah,
that probably
smack them around first time. Should be the same. There shouldn't be any surprises here.
Yeah.
And with like 2 full games under the belt, well, really 3 full games now under their belt, they should have a little bit more of a groove, especially with the rotations and doing things. And as we started off at the beginning of the show, we know Stewie and Asia are going to be Stewie and Asia. Like, just good luck with them.
Yeah.
Just good luck with them.
Yeah, because as you see, the other 3 starters didn't have to score more than 4 points, and it just took those 2.
Yeah.
Being
That's
those
the great luxury to have. Like even the first game against Germany, we talk about the height advantage against Japan, and it's tough. But like that game earlier in the week against Germany, they match up height wise, right? So that's not a disadvantage, but they still just a skill level of basketball being played by those top 2 players. Like, we know Asia's the best in the world. Stewie's could be the second best in the world. She's up there, right? They're both MVP candidates every year for a reason. Then you're auxiliary players around them. Like all you need is a little bit from them to help out, and you're done. You're good.
The men play Puerto Rico on Saturday.
Puerto Rico. Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't look like any names are really sticking off there. Lee talks, brings up the rugby. I was watching a little bit of different rugby games. I think it was yesterday when they're playing. Man, those girls, whew.
Yeah.
And I even have posted this one girl's like a picture of her thighs. Like we talked about Nick Bosa and his thighs. I was like, man, she got Nick Bosa beat. Like, whew, like their legs are like good Lord.
They have to be. that low center of gravity. They do all that running. Yeah.
And this one girl, she like literally picked up she's running with the ball, literally picked up this other chick and just took off running. Like, like what in the hell?
that one poor girl that got ran over. Oh my gosh, she got trucked. Oh, that was terrible.
Man,
I feel bad for her.
We need some of them to come out and play on the freaking 49ers. Like, holy shit.
You know what I mean?
Like those girls are some beasts. Like
funny, yeah. That girl that ran over the other one, I was gonna actually post her and be like, okay, now hear me out.
And they do that angry run
put her in. Exactly. And just give her the ball.
Yeah. The guy's like, I need to find this girl, find out, she needs to get that angry run scepter because holy shit. Like, man, those girls, whew, I would hate to be standing in their way.
Yep.
Like I couldn't even believe, like, man, I've seen some rugby playing before, but man, those girls, I don't know what they've been eating. They're taking their shit to a different level these days. There's been some exciting things. Like today I watched the guys gymnastics, the men's for the United States. Like it's been like all these years since they have placed, and like it came down to the very last guy like needed to like have a hell of a like run, and like he did it, and the men's USA ended up getting like third place for like the first time in 20 something years, whatever. Like just to see like the joy and them like so excited, like oh my gosh, it's so awesome to see.
Yeah.
Like
I've been doing that too.
The girls swimming yesterday, getting gold and silver, the United States, like to see them be able to celebrate that together. And like the gold place girl had the silver place finisher get up on the top of the thing, like this,
join me on the podium.
Yep, like that's so awesome.
Yeah,
I love
that's
seeing
the Olympics
stuff like
are
that.
about. Just the stories, the pageantry, the going for a medal. To see these first timers get a medal for the first time, like it's exciting and it's fun. That's why I like watching the Olympics. Like I'll throw on any sport. Like I was watching slalom canoeing the other day. I didn't even know that was a thing,
right?
But it was there, so I'm like, let me throw it on. And it was fun to see them competing their ass off doing it. So I was like, okay then. So yeah, the Olympics are definitely an event and a spectacle, and they're watched all over the world. Millions of people tuning in. So it's great to see.
Yeah, there's some too. I was watching some sports too. I was like, I didn't even know this was even a thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like it was like something today. I don't know. It was like a mix between like basketball. Like they didn't have to dribble all the time. Like it looked like they could dribble once in a while, but then they could run around with the ball, but they still passed. But it wasn't like they were throwing in a hoop. It was kind of like a soccer looking goal. And it had like a goalie.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like and half basketball, half like I don't know what the hell it was. I'm
like half lacrosse or something.
Chuck that ball into the freaking goal, like holy shit.
Yeah, they be jumping up off one leg and throwing it.
Yeah,
and I'm like
I have fun, no whatever it is.
Yeah, I have no idea what this sport is, but I'm fascinated by it right now.
Yeah,
what is going on?
Like I never knew there's so many damn sports. I never even knew that there was anything knew nothing about them. Like,
exactly.
But they're shit. They look like they're having fun, and it takes skill and all this, to play. So I'm all for it. But yeah, at least next week we'll have 2 games to talk about, and bunch more of other Olympic things going on.
Yep.
We'll see if there's any other WNBA news that happens in the next week. But other than that, we're out of here. Those of you that watch us for football's back. So I know we'll both be putting out, a lot of content. So make sure you're subscribed to both of our channels. Ty's women's sports channel is the link is in the description box of this video. So please make sure that you go subscribe to his new channel. And
don't forget, my football channel is the Stay Faithful podcast. You got to stay faithful. Like, do you pass the eye test? Let me hold up. Let me show off my shirt here. See that?
There you have it. You should stay faithful.
That's right. Do you pass the eye test? Go to the Stay Faithful podcast channel.
There you have
subscribe there as well for 49ers content. Should be a fun season.
Yep, I'm ready. I'll be back sometime this week with 49ers content. Me and Ty will be back next Monday with WNBA content. We appreciate everybody that tuned in, everybody that watches back on replay. Much love. Everybody have a great week. Stay safe out there. We're out of here.
See ya.